Hey, hi, hello, good evening. How are you, everyone? It's good to see you. It's good to be seen by you. Me doing the seeing and the being glad about it, and Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver, coming to you on a very busy pre-Thanksgiving Monday. Thank you all for being here tonight on such incredibly short notice. I see some of you folks are watching over here on YouTube, and if you're one of the over 100 people who've subscribed in just the last couple of days to the YouTube channel. First of all, welcome. And second of all, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Guys, I really, really appreciate it. Chaos Dominion, have you been in our audience before? Well, hello, just the same. Whether you're watching here or you're watching over on Twitter, I'm glad you're joining us for what is going to be a short and kind of chaotic live stream. So I have I eaten pumpkin cheesecake? I'm going to be baking pumpkin cheesecake, Zach, is what I have to do literally just as quick as I wrap up this live stream. I've got to dash into the kitchen and start whipping up a pumpkin pie cheesecake. So that's a thing that's got to happen. North of the Rockies, good to see you. Anyway, new subscriber, old Delver. Well, I'm glad you joined us there, Chaos. Regardless of what your status, what your mode and modus is, I am glad you are here. So, gosh, what did I say I was going to talk about? Oh, right. First of all, let me ask you a small favor. If you're out there watching and you haven't already, please click the subscribe button and click the bell icon for notifications, because things are going to get pretty interesting over the course of the next 40 days. Okay. Wait, what is today's date? Okay, so today's the 25th. So 37 days. Wait, is that right? 30, yeah, 37 days. Let me tell you what's happening, what's going on. I did start early, Damien. I started early because I got to wrap up early. So what I sorry. What I was going to tell you guys was with the release of a little video, let me see if I can pull this up here. With the release of a little video, guys, the channel has jumped up to 6,629 from 6,475 back at the beginning of the month. Let that sink in. 200 more people have joined this Helter Skelter ride. And I'm going to say that the bulk of it has been over the last couple of days. And why is that? Okay, so really, for all of the hardcore details, I'm going to say check the video out if you haven't seen the video. And by the number of views, you probably actually already have. But Wheeling Dragon, hello, good to see you, dear. So in essence, what happened was a YouTuber and Twitter user by the name of Corpse Kings quoted some stuff from the 50th anniversary of design for OD&D book. Now, Tim Imholt and I talked about this a while back. I've talked about it. I never looked that close. I didn't realize exactly how screechy Wizards of the Coast got. It went beyond just boilerplate. They didn't think the way we think now. Gosh, wasn't that unenlightened? Let's move on. And in my opinion, it moved straight into personal attack. And it wasn't just my opinion about that, because the former lead designer at or a former lead designer at Activision Blizzard by the name of Mark Kern, who posts on Twitter under the handle Grums or Grums. I don't know how to pronounce it. I apologize, but I think it's just Grums. Uh, he had a lot to say about that, and he quoted Corpse Kings back. And Mark had also spoken with Rob Kuntz. Of course, we've had Rob on the show. I've met with Rob. Rob and I are pretty simpatico. Um, and Rob is literally the last man standing who was in the room at the time for the inception of Dungeons and Dragons. Rob had a lot to uh, a lot to say. Um, but and Grums quoted him, and there was a pretty good discussion. Out of nowhere, Elon Musk. And yes, I know anyone can pretend to be anything. You go on a Discord server right now and say, I'm, I'm Elon Musk. I'm Brad Pitt. I'm Harrison Ford. And who could know? I mean, it's coming from the guy's verified account. Um, I'm not here to talk about his politics. Just like I said in the video, I'm not going to talk about that. Josh Butler, hello. Happy Thanksgiving week to you. He came in pretty salty about that. And I agree with his take on it. I don't think the Lord should damn the people who said it. I don't agree with that. It is bearing false witness, and I hope that they will come to know conviction in their hearts to at the very least give some context to the things that they said. So this basically blew up, and I didn't want to just say, hey, Elon Musk said this about classic D&D and about Gary Gygax. I reached out to Heidi Gygax Garland. Of course, Heidi's been on the show before. She's Gary's daughter, the daughter that still plays and loves TTRPGs, and her husband Eric. Of course, they're both excellent, wonderful people. And she talked to me, and then on Facebook she posted a very nuanced response, because unlike the people who wrote that book, or Elon Musk, or Grooms, or me, she was there. She knows what her dad was like. If any one of you wrote a book about my dad and say this is what Walt Sylvie was like, I would take exception to that, even if you said flattering things, but things that were essentially untrue. I would say, wait a minute, you weren't there. I was. So I asked her, I said, look, can I quote this from you in the video I'm going to do? I will send you a link to the video when I'm done with it. And she said, sure. So I made sure to include that, because I wanted a broad look at everything. And in my opinion, hers are the only facts that matter here. Not the only opinions that matter, but the only facts that matter. The people who wrote that hit piece in that book are making things that they call facts up. Heidi was there. Heidi knows. So I posted that video Saturday afternoon at 5:30, and as of right now, it has 6.4 thousand views, which, look, I know if you go to other channels, there's channels with videos that, like 2 million views, 100,000 views, how many ever views. For me, that's numbers. And apparently a lot of people agreed because and I'm not bragging about metrics, I'm making a point here. um uh 104 of you awesome people click the subscribe button uh when I reported that. So thank you. But the point is, I felt like it was important to see how what Wizards of the Coast probably regarded in two ways made such a huge impact. One, they're trying to reverse Osborne effect classic AD&D. Don't play classic Dungeons and Dragons. It was written by an awful person, and we know this for a fact because of these things, and we've cataloged them here. Two, they thought that by and large it would only matter to a tiny handful of nerds, and that we could pound our little fists on the table and until our lead uh, cast and testers car model painted Grenadier minis fell over onto our grease stained 40 and 50-year-old rule books. And that's not true. A friend of mine pinged me on Discord and said, and I agreed with him. We both kind of made analogies, but his was that this is the equivalent of um, of J.P. Morgan. I want to I want to quote it exactly properly. Uh, what it was and how it was that he said it. So let me give it proper due. Um, what was it he said? Because I thought it was exceptionally well said. Um, I said, this is Howard Hughes coming out and saying he really loves Avalon Hill's Antietam level weird. And he said, it's like Andrew Carnegie telling people that H.G. Wells' Little Wars is the best way to spend a weekend afternoon. We're living in interesting times. And I think that's how tectonic that is. Yes, Chaos Dominion. That thank you. The making of original D&D 70 to 77. Um, so uh so I felt like the whole discussion uh needed to be given air. um that oh my god, Elon Musk said this. Sorry, I make that mistake a lot. Elon Musk said this on X. He said this, and then try and just stretch out my opinion about that. So being able to look at the whole tweet thread, put Rob's opinion in there, talk about what Corpse King said, what Mark Kern / Grums said, what Elon said. And personally, I think your takeaway should be to include what Heidi said in your thoughts, in your considerations. um but I hope that's your takeaway, guys. I hope that's your takeaway, that it's not just about, oh, Mogul says this, uh, but it's pretty tectonic that us old grognards here, that that came along again. That's like Andrew Carnegie saying H.G. Wells' Little Wars, everybody should try that. So it was news, and it was important news. Now I'm going to be 100% honest with you folks. if Elon Musk had said, "Yeah, I read this book and that Gary Gygax guy, what a felter, what a complete schmuck, what a jerk, what an a-hole." Um, I would likewise, I would report that. I would report that. A Man of War 665, neighbor of the beast. To this law you're speaking of, presentism is the dogma of the faithful. Yeah, I feel like you're right. Are we getting takeaway? Wave of mutilation. No, we're cooking in, buddy. We're cooking in. Um, so so that's why I did the video, guys. That's why I did the video. It wasn't just like, hey, I could put Elon Musk's name and quite frankly, a scary good little AI cartoon I asked for. Kabuki Kid, don't at me if you're out there watching. By the way, Kabuki Kid, let's catch you over on the Discord. She'll be joining us in January on the show. So set your VCRs. But anyhow, so that's that's why you guys got that video, and that video blew up. And I am so thankful for the 100+ subscribers it brought me. I love you guys all. You can go watch the video if you haven't seen it. If anyone wants right now, I'll share the link to right now on the show. But we're not here to just recap just that video. I want to talk about this week and the month ahead. Now, first of all, 100+ people have subscribed. Some of you new subscribers may be here now. Graph Paper Architect, there's a guy who's not a new subscriber, but he's a good guy. Lord Misfit, also not a new subscriber, but a good guy. Let's see. You know what? I'm just going to go through and give a quick hello to you guys. I am flying right now. If I seem hyper caffeinated, I'm not. To quote Jackson Brown, I'm just running on empty. So great old ones: Chaos Dominion, Rob Turner, Zach Melvin, North of the Rockies, Damien X247, Wheeling Dragon. Love you to pieces, Wheeling Dragon. My Monday, Wheeling Dragon, yeah, I'll get to it in just a minute. FMCS Recon, hello. I know how he's doing because he talks to me all the time on Twitter, on Discord. Josh Butler, Tony Wiggenhauser. Can I just say that of all the Hausers I've known, yours is the most fun to say, Wiggenhauser. Let's see. Already Chaos Dominion, GM Brando, good to see you. Look how they massacred my boy. Man of War 665, neighbor of the beast. William Owens, good to see you. Welcome. Kennick, hello, I see you out there. The Pastel Fox out there saying hi, new guy. Actually, did you mention, Pastel, that you'd been a lurker for a really long time? I have no way of checking. Look, everybody comes in and grabs a seat. That's how we roll around here. So, to you new folks, to tell you a little bit about how we do roll around here, allow me to introduce myself. I am the Dungeon Delver. I am the face and the voice behind this little, basically lo-fi TV show 5 nights a week. I live stream and I talk about classic tabletop RPGs. We play classic TTRPGs. We do essentially long form demonstrations. But and you might be thinking like, okay, I haven't gone back and watched any of your live plays. Oh, you do what Dimension 20 and why did I go blank? Critical Role and so many others do. We do not. There is a degree of interactivity you have here that you don't get on the others, and it is this. I know a lot of you folks either have not played AD&D in a long time and want to come back, have not played AD&D in a long time and are thinking about coming back and want to see if it's still cool, have never played AD&D and want to check it out to see if it's cool, or you want to try it, or you currently play but you want to see how somebody else does it. That whole salad bar of you folks, I want you to watch my AD&D live stream on Tuesday. And when Kyle runs AD&D on Wednesdays, I want you to watch that too. And if you have questions, if you have specific questions about what we're doing and how we're doing it, I want you to ask in the chat. I want you to put a question in the chat and say, why, I thought old school D&D, it was just Thaco. Why are you using a D6 for initiative? Why did you ask him about something to do with segments or casting time? Yada, yada, yada. Whatever your questions are, I want you, and sometimes I have recipes to share. I want you guys to ask the questions in the live chat. If I miss your question, or if I just I don't know the answer, I don't it's not a good time for me to answer, somebody else in the chat may answer your question. Somebody else in the chat may come back and say, oh, it's this, or the reason he's asking about weapon speed is because we're initiative tied and he's got a spellcaster that's casting a spell at us, so can my sword hit before his spell goes off? That sort of thing. But I want you guys to ask it. I want you to feel free to ask it. I said TV show. I mean, typically, we've gotten as many as 300, allegedly 300 watching. And the way Twitter views actually work is really it's more like if somebody just scrolls by and stops for a couple of seconds, X, I'm sorry, I keep saying Twitter, X counts that as a view. So right now it's saying there's been 65 views. Are there 65 people out there watching on X? Probably not. It's probably 65 people saw this come up in their feed. They glanced at it and then they scrolled on. But maybe you are watching on X. I can see your comments, whether you post over on X or whether you post over on YouTube. They're all fed in on the screen over here in StreamYard for me to see. I will do my level best to answer your question. If I don't, someone else in the live stream may. But if you're over on Twitter, you may not see their comment if they're responding on YouTube. So I'll try and stay on top of that. God bless you, John Stewart Keller. Thank you. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And finally, if somebody in the audience doesn't, one of the people playing might, and they might say, oh, Rob Turner has a question. Bill William Owens had a comment about this. And that's how we do. I want this to be interactive, and I want it to be something that everyone can share in and enjoy. I want it to be something everyone can enjoy. Because this is not Dimension 20 and this is not Critical Role, where I'm sitting in a multi-million-dollar studio. The most expensive piece of gear right now where I'm sitting is that camera. That's a Panasonic Lumix GK7 or G7K, which can pump out 4K, and I use it as a webcam. I woefully underutilize it. I haven't the faintest how to use most of the settings. And something else I can tell you about our live streams: we don't have table reads, we don't have script sessions, we don't workshop characters, we don't have seasons or scenes or whatever. We play AD&D or Gamma World or D&D or Traveler. The dice fall where they may, and what happens happens. Period. The end. That's right, Sabo. And it's good to see you. Love the new Fifle tune, by the way. Everyone needs to follow Savo on Twitter. If you don't, Fifle the Twit at Fifle the Twit over on X Twitter. Because just some amazing art, just some amazing art. But Dungeon Minister, hello. Hello. I filmed the lunar landing here. No, I filmed the Kennedy assassination here. Oh, that's gonna get auto noted by YouTube. So wow. So that's what we do. Bob Schultz, thank you so much. I'm already planning next October's Call of Cthulhu. It's going to be a little different. I hope it's still creepy. I hope it's creepier. I hope it's creepier. And maybe, just maybe, we could get the great Sandy Peterson to play with us. I'm not going to promise anything. We're 11 months out from that, right? So, with all that said, let's talk about the week ahead, because this is Thanksgiving week in the United States. I know some of you folks are in Australia, some of you folks are in Canada, where you already had your Thanksgiving, and some folks from even further afield. But this is Thanksgiving week. I have a pumpkin pie cheesecake I need to make like in 10 minutes. Like, if you think that I'm going to be sitting here for another hour chatting with you guys, I'm not. We will be done in 10 or 15 minutes. So I was at best to no. I my mom and dad were talking about getting married, I think, when it happened. But anyhow, so our show tonight, I'm done in just a few minutes, guys. I can't stay and play. But Tuesday night we'll play AD&D. I don't know about Hex Crawl D&D Wednesday, because that is Thanksgiving night. I may be so stressed and running around that I just don't know. I will talk to Kyle about the possibility of me sitting it out and him running for you guys on the live stream. It would be the first Delver live stream where there was no Dungeon Delver. Thursday, no live stream Thursday. Sorry, it's not happening. We're back Friday. We're going to play Gamma World on Friday. We're going to continue with Albuquerque Starport. These this week is the, and I say this in light of everything that's kind of flying off the handle right now. I'll hang in here as long as I can, Dungeon Minister, as long as I can. But this is the last normal live stream week until after New Year's. December is going to be really busy. So let me tell you a little bit about what is what is going on in December. We're still waiting on a dice advent calendar. I have not heard from Dudragao, and when I look at their eBay page, they're not selling any. We had a 2022 and a 2023, but I don't see a 2024. I just see a couple of the older years Dice Advent calendars, and they have not pinged me back. To be honest, I think they've kind of gone into a low power mode. Maybe they're still doing custom dice and custom gaming materials. I don't know. But I'm not saying don't buy from them. I'm just saying I haven't heard from them about the Advent calendar, and I did reach out to them. Now, the other or the thing that impacts is I hope by the 1st, which is this coming Sunday, I hope that I will have the calendar in hand, because Sunday I want to start the Dice Advent calendar for Christmas 2024. Those won't be live streams. I'll just record a short video where we pop open the door and I show you guys the die on camera, and then we'll roll it, we'll make a comment about it. It will be just a very short video, just a few minutes, and I'll do those up to the 24th. Take care, Wheeling Dragon. Love you to pieces. Now, so with that said, a cheesecake advent calendar. No, I'm not making one every day. That's just not happening. With that said, 4 nights in December. Well, I shouldn't say 4 times in December. 4 times in December. I will do a live stream. I'm not announcing a day. I'm not announcing a time until just a little bit before the live stream. On each of those live streams, I will give you guys the opportunity, if you want, you will have the opportunity to win a small gift. If you're sitting out there in the audience, whether you're over on X, whether you're over on YouTube, you let me know. I'll do a roll call, as it were, at the top of the hour. And everyone, I'll just say, everyone say gift. Everyone who wants in on this, say gift. Don't do it now. And I will basically put those names on a list as I see them come up at the top of the hour. I'll use a die roller that is on my Discord. Say we have 31 people that say gift. Obviously, there's no 31-sided die. And I will use the die roller to roll 1d31 or 1d27 or 1d64 or whatever. And the number that comes up, you get the gift. You'll have to reach out to me. You'll have to send me a mailing address it can go to. And I'll give you the opportunity at that time. Hey, do you want to know what you're getting now or not? None of it's going to be stuff that I 3D printed. These are store-bought gifts. But just no 31. Yeah. Somebody hand me their D19 and a half. Reaches into the DCC bag. So The caveat is that if you win once, please don't enter a second time. One gift per household. One gift per household. And we'll do that for some gifts. The other live stream that I've got in December is the Nerd Council of Doom, which I think is over at Dungeon Minister's channel. And me and Yang Yan's own Dungeon Minister will bring you guys all the pop culture vulture news and views and rants and bants to fill your holiday season, gift suggestions, so on and etc. Our thoughts on the season and all that jazzmatazz. So I'm not live streaming in December except 5, possibly 6 times. I'll probably do the last gift draw on Christmas night. I'm going to be honest with you guys. You're probably not going to get these gifts in time for Christmas, but I'm counting them as Christmas gifts. So, so that is how we are going to proceed in December. There's a few things happening in January. The biggest thing that's happened in January is last year I said that I was going to start a 3D printing channel. I did not start a 3D printing channel. I said I was going to, and then I didn't. Shame on me. Very much shame on me. So this year coming up, I will finally start. Oh, that sounds delicious, Dungeon Minister. I love fruitcake. I do. I love fruitcake. So it's going to be completely separate from the Delver's Dungeon. You won't see videos about that channel on here. You won't see Delver's Dungeon content over there. There'll be no hidden Delver's Dungeon content like where I talk about, oh, I'm going to play this interview I did with so-and-so TSR person. No, that's going to be a 1 video a week, pre-recorded video, scripted video. I'm just going to talk about 3D printing. That's all I intend to talk about. That's it. And a little bit of crafting, a little bit of other crafting. Like, for example, one of the videos that I planned to do was on the $10 3D printer. Yes. Yes. The first video you're going to get, which I actually tried to record a couple of times by doing off the cuff, like I do when I do my interstitial videos here on the channel, is about safety. It didn't work. It didn't work well. I ummed and ahed through it too much. Yes, Imperial Ramblings, it's going to be largely about the hobby of printing for tabletop gaming. I have done stuff like that. In fact, I'm going to talk to my Monday night group about what we're going to be doing on Monday night when we play AD&D in December. So, yeah, Joe, I'm sorry. Anyway, so yeah, now you can actually visit if you want to subscribe to it. Let me see if I can Man, I've got to see here. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, my channel is so not active. Let me see if I can make this work. Here we go. This will be the channel. That will be the channel, and that is where I will have 3D printing content up. And one thing I will tell you is, again, this is about 3D printing tabletop. Don't expect me to just talk about 3D printing AD&D light minis. Don't come at me. Oh, let's do spiky. Why are you printing a tiefling? Why aren't you printing a Dave Sutherland goblin? This is 3D printing in general. I am way more interested in you guys learning the ins and outs of 3D printing on that channel than I am anything to do with D&D. Other than the occasional mention of matters of scale, you will hardly ever hear me talk about anything D&D related on that channel. It's going to be a very serious focus on the subject of 3D, and I'm going to share all of the stuff that I have learned about 3D printing with you guys. A lot of it is going to be is going to be shot out there in the outer garage, because that's where the printers are. And a lot of it's going to be post produced, because if I'm ever out there, I'm wearing protective gear if I'm around the printers and they're doing their thing, because phenolic resin is bad for you. Resin and FDM. In fact, one of my videos is going to be about trying to get my FDM printer working again. All right. Well, thank you guys for subscribing. So that is basically the next 4.5 weeks into 2025. 2025 is going to be completely bonkers, guys, in a good way. I really appreciate everything you guys have done. People, they always do that. Well, what are we thankful for? You sit down, you got your glass of white wine and your catered turkey and inside your kitchen or dining room, rather, that is bigger than half of my house. So, well, what are we really thankful for this year? And, as we're probably going to be eating off of Chinette, me here, the kids in the living room, my wife watching, Hallmark stuff on her computer. No, it's not going to be like that. We're all going to be sitting at the table. But I am I'm thankful for all of you, whether you just subscribed 45 minutes ago to this channel, or you subscribed in 2014 when my content was me on a shit webcam and just the audio from said shit webcam, sitting over in that corner holding up a copy of B2 like I was saying something profound, and then not doing a bunch of videos even though I said that I was. Honestly, live streaming during human malware saved my ass. It really did. In a lot of ways. And I'm thankful that you guys have decided to stay here and watch the channel grow. Will I ever hit 10,000 before I hit burnout? I don't know. I honestly don't know. That's you know, that's a hell of a question, right? But one thing I will tell you for absolutely free is that um I do this for you guys. If I had 630, or I'm sorry, 663, 63, 6 or 3 people watching, I would do this. I would do this, guys. That was that was that was and is always my thing. Um so the only other thing I want to mention before we wrap up, and wrap up I am about to, is I am deciding this week where the AD&D book library is going. And I'm pretty sure I've got it figured out who it's going to. Heidi and Eric are providing the shipping. Um, Dungeon Minister helped get a copy of Oriental Adventures for it. I was not able to get a monster manual or the bespoke printing of deities and demigods, or the more modules that I wanted to, guys. I just didn't have the money or the time, and I apologize for that. But the person who gets the stuff will have enough stuff to play AD&D. That I promise you. So with that said, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic week, whether you celebrate Thanksgiving or no, whether you, this is just another 7 days for you. Bless you all. Thank you all for being here. And I just want you to remember this, guys, in passing. As God is my witness, I thought owl bears could fly. Peace.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere, in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around, some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle, way off course? Naked as a toad, all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.